Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancier. I wanted to come and say hello. Wish you a wonderful day. I hope this week will bring those new energies. For Venus is retrograde right now, so that allows us to look at things internally in terms of our love, relationship to money, relationship to relationship. What are our likes, dislikes? What is it we need to have more of? What is it we want to diminish? All those things are coming into the pictures for us. So from the archangels, I'm going to pull 4 cards. The highest wisdom is the 3 of Gabriel, which announce great changes. There is those great ships that are on the horizon, and so it says to succeed is to be ready. It is time to overcome, to reach the next step. Ambitious and optimistic project that materialize as scheduled. So it is about being ready for it. We've asked for it, now we're ready, and it's gonna go. And so what we need to understand is the wheel. It is the Archangel Jeremiel, a new beginning. You are arriving at a term, a change of direction to access happiness. So this is really what's before us. We only need to understand that to make the wheel is turning and will continue to turn. But in many sense, it is a new beginning. What we need to do is the 10 of Raphael, which is the total to be satiated by life, to be within our own it says a life that is made of love and grace, harmonious relationship in the family, looking for happiness. So it is like the déjeuner sur l'herbe. So it is, and the general aspect is the general message is the 3 of Raphael, which is here it would be the 3 graces, Aglaé, Tali, and Euphrosine, the 3 graces. But here it says you have so many reasons to celebrate. Community of friends, good news in relation to a relation or to children. So it is once again the boats are here and there is all kinds of celebration. It's kind of intimacy. So it is we have to let go of whatever doubts we have in relationship to what we've been asking for in order to accelerate this process of receiving it in many sense. I'm going to pull 4 cards from the Akash. The painting behind me is part of a series of 7 paintings I painted in Denver, Colorado in 1999. They go from very small to a bit larger, and they're from the Urantia book Revelation. They are about the family of God, the 7 great spiritual families, and those are very they take a very long time to elaborate, although this one came up pretty quickly. It's a number 4. So the highest wisdom for us today is the bride and groom. So there is a relationship potential, something, a deep connection that can be ascertained, or something that's already there. Then it's about completing, making even more, to engage with more of that relationship. What we need to understand is Greco-Roman. It's to me it means the empowerment from the Olymp, the Greek gods, the power of that energy, that knowledge of truth, and this passion for life as well. For the Greek gods were very passionate beings. They still are, but they have settled down a bit. What we need to do is the trees. The trees grow. So it's about being like a tree, to continue to grow, to understand the growth, to understand and the general message is the mother Earth, the mother of the universe, our physical mother, our spiritual mother. It can be the idea of mothering. It can be the idea of surrendering to the Great Spirit, also to the mother of creation. For she will be also used. The Divine Mother will also use somebody. Is the Father will also use in this transformation. God will use many avatars, but some are more. They are somewhat complementary as well. For the plan of God is beyond anyone's understanding. I'm not even sure that even on Paradise there is a great deal of that everybody agrees of what the plans of the gods are. So imagine in the universe, and even imagine on the earth. So all those things are just up for exploration to see if we can get confirmation what God allows for us to know. I wanted to say that it's far better to be serene and happy than to be right. It is never needed to go through when someone's not ready to understand something, it is better to pause and let them believe they're right, if they're not willing to understand something. That's why our thoughts, words, and actions are the tools of our creation. But we are not our thoughts, we are not our words, and we are not our actions. Those are just tools that we use. And René Descartes says, "I think, therefore I am," which is, I think, it's a good illusion, because it allows atheists to find solid beliefs into whatever they think they believe they are. So that's what they become, and that's what the ego reality is about. So there is wisdom in that sense, but we have to be before we think. And in many sense, we know, quantum physics have proved that we are what we believe, we are what we think. So therefore, as we evolve our thoughts, we become more, we can clean up our thoughts and have more lighter thoughts. We become more of who we are. In many sense, thoughts are like leaves on the tree. We are the tree, but we are not the leaves. The leaves will fall down, and every season there is new thoughts, and then sometimes there is thoughts that don't belong to us, that are just passing through our head, so that we may be informed of what is being communicated in the collective mind. So it is important to put our energy towards good thoughts, to empower good thoughts. And I wanted to finish by just talking very briefly about art and artists. And so it's I was contemplating certain things, and the one thing is that many artists of the Renaissance, such as Caravaggio or Botticelli or many others, even Da Vinci, I'm sure, had to go at some point burn in the public plaza in the center of town. They would have to go and burn some of their paintings, which I would feel like it would be better to have more Botticelli, more Leonardo's, more Caravaggios than less, but he wasn't conforming to the power of the state, the Catholic religion at the time, and so they had to burn those paintings. So thank God we don't have to burn. I mean, in many sense, I felt like if we had to burn all the ugly art, that would make a lot of space for new art to come into play. But it's just a joke, of course, of freedom. Even bad art will not hurt anyone. So art is an instrument of peace, even if it doesn't have to be good art. And Marcel Duchamp was an artist, that very important artist of the 20th century, maybe one of the most important with Picasso. And he saw that art had to be neutral. It could be, if you like it, as a ready-made. He was the inventor of the ready-made, and which is very popular today. But in many sense, if you like it already, if you make a series of it, that means you're missing the point, because the point is to be neutral in relation to be. He thought also that there was two kinds of artists. One that was a free artist that could never be adapted to his time and space. A free artist cannot be serving a collective. And then there are the artists that are providing images for the collective. Those are very comfortable and but they cannot bring anything new, because what they are is really just providing something that the public wants. When the artist has to be free, in many sense, he wanted to retire in many sense, he wanted to play a lot of chess, so he didn't have to paint and be repetitive. But he also saw that another thought that was very interesting is that he wanted a public that was like far in the future. He wasn't really interested in the immediate success or failure of his reception of his work, because he thought that the first look of the public will not be the best one. It is better to wait till there is a refined public that will really appreciate the work, that will eventually come. So that's why he was painting. I was also looking into all the surrealists, and I saw there was a great deal of although they were not revendicating from that philosopher, there is a great deal of Kant in the surrealist. I really like the surrealist. There is this idea of transcending something in the surrealism, the mind transcending something, and so also Picasso said that everything you can imagine is real. So it's a very powerful knowledge that some of those artists already and Marcel Duchamp thought that life was to believe. This is, if you don't believe, there is nothing that happening. So, but it's kind of interesting to look back in those times of this modern art era, because there was a great deal of newness, and after that we went into a little bit of like a death of art, but then for it to be a renaissance, there needs to be a death. So it will all it is all shifting. There is a lot of light that's going in everywhere. I hope this video was interesting for you. I'm going to finish with just a few words. A song that was written by Missy Hell. It was sung by Burt Bacharach. It was like this. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that they're just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that they're just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Well, let us fill the world with love, and then from there we'll be able to have this abundant love. For it is up to us to cultivate that love, to practice that love. And so for there is no reason. Love is free. Love is free. Both it doesn't cost anything, and it can never be trapped. So there is a great deal we'll discover in the simplicity, or return to a simple life, appreciating the loving kindness of just being alive. Well, I hope you enjoyed this day and this video. I wish you I talk to you later. Thank you very much. Namaste.